I unlocked the straddle planche in 3 months, and in this video I'm going to show you exactly how I did it. I'm going to explain you why I did it so fast, and I'm going to show you the best way for you to learn it as fast as possible. But first of all, I'm going to share with you a little bit of a backstory. So I'm training calisthenics for around 6 years, and for the first 3 years I did a lot of mistakes. I wasn't training properly, and I was doing mainly basics. I was training without a routine, and I was just doing some random stuff. And even though I was doing some random stuff, I was doing some pull-ups, I was doing some dips, but still I tried to do some skills. I didn't train for them, I just tried them. And one of these skills was, as you can see on this picture, this ugly straddle planche. Because at the time I didn't know how to train properly, I didn't train for it, I just did some attempts, I couldn't hold it. As you can see, my form is shit. And after that, after some times I just quit, because I just thought that it's not for me, because obviously this is not a straddle planche, and I just didn't know how to train it properly. So as you can see here, I did a lot of attempts for the planche, but I didn't know how to do it, so I just quit after some time. Then I decided to focus on weighted calisthenics and handstand push-ups. As you can see here, I'm doing the handstand for the past 5 years, so I'm pretty good at handstand. I have always been good at handstand, and I thought that, okay, so if I don't have enough strength for the planche, I will just master the handstand push-ups, I will get better at them, I will do some weighted calisthenics, I'm going to gain some more muscle mass, and then magically I'm going to be able to do the planche. This is what I used to think at the time. And of course it doesn't work like that. Just spamming handstand push-ups and weighted calisthenics is not going to help you get the planche. But this is what I used to think at that time. So I was training weighted calisthenics with some handstand push-ups for like 1 year, and because of that I gained some raw strength. At that time I was able to do like 10 handstand push-ups, which is not bad. And this definitely helped me for the planche in the future. But, just doing these two is not going to magically unlock for you the straddle planche. So after doing some weighted calisthenics, some handstand push-ups, I decided to try again, and I combined learning the straddle planche and other skills with weighted calisthenics for a couple of months. And as you can see here, I was training it only 1 time per week. Yeah, I was doing the straddle planche only 1 time per week, which is not the best idea for most people. But at that time, I still didn't know perfectly, how to train it properly. So my frequency was too low. And so, why I actually learned the planche so fast? First of all, I had some muscle memory from before. As I said, I was doing the straddle planche before, I was training for it, not in the best way, I was just doing some attempts, but still, some muscle memory was there. And even though after this huge break from straddle planche, because I didn't train the straddle planche at all when I was doing weighted calisthenics and handstand push-ups, still I had some muscle memory from the moments when I did the attempts. And even though I started again literally from zero, from tuck planche to straddle planche, it still helped me to master it faster, even with only 1 time per week training. At that time I knew how to train it properly, the second time when I started learning the straddle planche again. And once again, if I had to start learning it again from now, I would do it in a different way. I would definitely increase the frequency, but at that time, I didn't know that. So even with training the planche 1 time per week, I still managed to do, pretty fast progress. And finally, I gained a lot of strength from the weighted dips and from the handstand push-ups that definitely helped me for the planche. But as I said earlier, just doing handstand push-ups and just doing dips, it's not going to automatically unlock the planche for you. You actually need to train it specifically. So the way I learned it is not the best, and probably you won't learn it so fast following the same structure as I did. Because basically I was doing 1 day for muscle ups, 1 day for straddle planche and front lever, and the last day was for weighted calisthenics, which is not the best structure for training skills, but at that time it used to, it was working for me. I was making progress and I was happy with that. So if I had to learn the straddle planche again from zero, from this point now, this is what I would do, and this is what I suggest you to do. So if you want to master the straddle planche, you need to understand these 4 things. First, you need high frequency, at least 2 to 3 times per week. When you're starting the planche, you don't need more days than that. Second is you need proper overload system, and I'm going to show you the system just in a few minutes, how to train it, which should be done step by step, not rushing the process. You need to prioritize quality over quantity, which means that most of the sets you're going to do them until technique failure, which means that basically on every single set your form should be solid, and it's better to do less seconds of hold with a better form instead of going for longer holds but with a pretty bad form. And the last thing is losing weight. If you're overweight, if you have some excessive body fat that you don't really need, you definitely need to lose that, and it's going to be way easier for you. So obviously the workout routine will be different for every single person, and it really depends on a lot of things, but it could be something like this, and I'm going to show you a 3-day split that I created that for some of you it might work, for some of you it might not work, because as I said, it really depends on how many days per week can you train, what other skills you're training, and a lot of other stuff. But this is just a general routine that you can follow, and you can just optimize it based on your schedule and on your personal goals. So this is kind of a structure that you can optimize based on your case. So as I said, this is just a workout example. I'm not saying that you should be training in the same way, but this might work for you if you're training 3 times a week. So on Monday, you can work on the next progression while doing holds for the current progression. Here you can see I have put some pictures. So let's say that right now you're on the advanced tuck, right? So this is you right now. I don't know why. Yeah, I can see my mouse now. I can. So this is the advanced tuck. This is your current progression. For example, you can hold your current progression for like 8 seconds, 8 to 10. This is your next progression, which for some people it's going to be the straddle planche, for some people it's going to be the super advanced tuck. Once again, it depends from person to person. And you can do next progression holds with a light band. Then you have some dynamic movements like planche push-ups or planche presses with a band, or you can do advanced tuck push-ups. Once again, it really depends on your personal goals and your level right now, but this is just a picture of me doing some straddle planche push-ups, and some conditioning exercises like planche leans. You can do planche lean presses, and you can do planche lean retraction, protraction. There are a lot of conditioning exercises. This is just one of them, just for the sake of the example. So on Monday you can start the workout for the first few sets of working on the next progression. For example, straddle planche with a light band. You can do 2 to 4 sets of that, not to failure. As I said, clean form, prioritizing quality over quantity, and then you go on with the current progression holds right now, which in our case is going to be advanced tuck holds. Once again, clean form, 3 to 6 sets, depends on your goals and depends on your level right now. And for example, if you still can't do the advanced tuck, then your current progression is going to be the normal tuck, when your legs are going to be closer to your abs, and the next progression is going to be the advanced tuck. So you're just going to switch them up. For example, when you're going to work on the next progression, it's going to be the advanced tuck, and when you're going to work on the current progression, it's going to be the normal tuck. So I think that you got the point. Then you're going to rest on Tuesday, and on Wednesday is going to be your second workout, which is going to be mainly current progression holds. Once again, in this case, the advanced tuck, and then you have some dynamic movements. For example, straddle planche push-ups with a band, or advanced tuck push-ups with a band, or straddle planche presses, you know, a movement that is specifically for the planche, but it's not a static hold, it's actually a dynamic movement. So presses, push-ups, and so on. As I said, there are a lot of exercises for that, and it really depends on your personal level and goals. But the example that I show you is just straddle planche push-ups. And finally, the last workout, which is going to be the lightest one, is on Friday, because you're already pretty fatigued from these two workouts, and this is just, you know, a conditioning workout to kind of practice the movement but not exhaust yourself too much, and prepare yourself for the workout, which is going to be on Monday. And on Friday, you're going to do, once again, current progression holds, the advanced tuck in this case. Maybe you're going to do a little bit less sets because you're already tired and it's a conditioning workout, so you're just practicing the movement without actually, you know, exhausting yourself so much. So it's a lighter workout. And then for the end of the workout, you can do some conditioning work, conditioning for the joints, because this is really important. If you never trained straight arm skills before, you might experience some pain if you progress too fast in the planche. Personally, right now I'm experiencing this kind of pain when I'm going from the straddle to the full, and I really have some pain, and I need to, you know, take it a little bit slower. So you're going to do some conditioning work, like, once again, planche leans, as on this picture, 2 to 4 sets per exercise. You can do other stuff. You can do like dumbbell raises with straight arms. It is also a good conditioning exercise. Once again, the planche lean here is just an example, and you can kind of optimize this structure based on your level. You can switch the progressions a little bit, you can switch the exercises, but you got the main point. Like here you're working on the next progression, then on the current, and so on and so on. Basically, this structure is going to work for you know, if you're working out for 3 times per week. And a little disclaimer, the sets, the exercises, the intensity, everything is basically going to be different, because every person is different, your level is going to be different, and you know, for some people one exercise might be working well, for other people another exercise is going to be better. So you need to optimize this for your level, and it's not going to be the same for every single person. Some people are working out 2 times per week, some people are working out 5 times per week, so it really depends. And of course, you can also train other skills in this 3-day split, like the front lever or the muscle up or something else, but it's better to combine, you know, push and pull. For example, if you're going to do planche and handstand push-ups, this might be a little bit too, you know, too hard for you, working on 2 pushing skills at the same time. So you can combine this structure here with some front lever exercises or muscle up exercises or basics or whatever your goal is right now. So it doesn't mean that you're going to train only planche for these 3 days. You can, you know, kind of mix it up a little bit. And when working on the straddle planche, you need to prioritize quality, as I already said, and the best way to do so is to work until technique failure. So when your form gets too bad and it's not acceptable anymore, just stop the set. Don't exhaust yourself with a bad form, because right now this is not going to help you a lot. Now your goal is to have clean and short holds and building up the volume step by step. So if you can't hold the advanced tuck for like 10 seconds you know, yet, that's fine. Like, you start from 5 seconds, 5, 5, 5, then you're going to up them to 6, 6, 6, 6, and so on. So prioritize clean form instead of longer holds but with a bad form. And if you need some help with structuring your workout based on your goals, because sometimes it's pretty hard if you don't know how to structure your workouts, you know, to combine a couple of skills together, like the planche, the front lever, the muscle up, the handstand push-ups. And if you don't know how to create this routine that is going to be the best for your case, and you need some help with that, but you really wanna, you know, achieve your goals like the planche or any other skills that you have, like front lever, muscle ups, and so on, you can apply for my one-on-one coaching. The link is going to be in the description. and once you apply, I'm going to reach out to you in the next 24 hours. We're going to have a short conversation. We're going to talk about your goals a little bit more in detail, and we're going to see how I can actually help you professionally achieve the skills that you want. And the most important thing now is just to take action, because you have the structure. Now you just need to apply it to your level and start making some gains, because the information is there. You just need to actually use it properly, use it specifically for your case. As I said, adapt routine to your level right now, and you're going to be able to make some good progress. So if you have any questions, you can of course write them in the comments below on this video, or you can just send me a DM on Instagram. Once again, the link is going to be in the description. And that's it. Just take action, start training for the planche. Don't overthink it so much. You have the structure. Now you just need to do the work. And once again, as I'm saying this in the end of every single video, expect redemption. I hope that it was valuable for you, and see you in the next one.